Oh my god. So hot.
Welcome to Daily Dose Plus Hot in the Setting.
I'm supposed to be
I should
sitting
do
over
gang
there.
signs and be like, bam, 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 bam. As you can see, the setup today is a little different, you know?
Yeah.
He is actually bald. I'm sad to accept that. Mental health encompasses emotional, psychological, and social well-being, influencing cognition, perception, and behavior. Mental health plays a critical role in individuals' daily life when managing stress, engaging with others, and contributing to overall life. So, daanaka daal, sa xel ba su baaxee and is in good states, sa yëpp baax. Sa xel ba su baaxutee yëpp tas. Wow. Thank you. See, Neri is teaching me Olof. You know what I say there? My Olof is not there. You think I'm lying. You see how Neri had to tell me Helmut Dal. You know what? I'm not happy. Man angale la dega. I cannot come myself. Even my English, apparently today, it has embarrassed me. Okay? It has embarrassed me. And I'm going to accept it. So if you come at me, fine. We are all in the chemistry group. It's okay. We are all in the same chemistry circle. I apologize. Apparently, sometimes even I lag. It be like that. But basically, that's that. So we're just talking about how mental health has affected us and in the way that we have been spoken to and the words that have been said to us, how that has been internalized and how we have perceived those things that we have received, the words that we have received. So like, for instance, I'm gonna give you an example. So we asked this question and the first person who responded to me, the first response, I really just was like, damn. That was the first response. I was just like, damn. And the question was, how has words used by your loved ones affected your mental health, right? And she said, literally grew up being told how useless I am. Now I have trouble advocating for myself and feeling comfortable and productive in the body I am in.
You know, the person that said that, I feel like the word useless is such a
Bro?
trigger. It's such a trigger word. I don't know how to even
damn,
explain it.
I had nothing to say. I just said, damn. She said, well, you asked. I said, I should have not. I'm like, I was not prepared for you to say that and it triggered me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was not ready for that.
And really, yeah.
Because the word useless, especially in this country, ñàkk njëriñ. Amoo njëriñ. Sila boka. Like, you hear that so much and it's like, everybody's just be like, what do you expect to happen if you've been saying that to your child since they were kids and they grow up? Nga just leen si yoo xam ne baaxut. Nga toog xool leen nga ne ko rek lii moo tax doo tekki. Da nga ñàkk njëriñ. Njëriñu looma. Waaye doom du pour njëriñ kese. Yow yaa am doom ba de. Doom bi amul la de yow. Yow yaa ko am de, I'm just saying.
The baby didn't ask to be here.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the genuine truth. Because the baby didn't say, hey, y'all, I want to come into the earth and do what you got to do and bring me in. Nah, you was doing what you was doing and how the baby popped out.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
Take it from me, Russian roulette.
Actually, if you see this,
That's why America is weird. America is weird. Last time I watched a documentary where bena hale mungi su ya muneluta ya misiko on.
No, because actually I understand though. Yeah. Because life is hard. Why'd you bring me? No, look.
Because you literally saw this world every day and you woke up and said, I'm going to have a child.
I'm just going to say. We ain't
like, I made the choice too, you know, but like.
It's like, why'd you bring me on this earth to suffer, please?
Be like, you saw all the wars. No. You see the famine happening in Sudan. You
climate
see
change,
people
all of that.
being this, like basically being removed from their homes. Yeah. There was in Palestine, Congo. And you still said, I'm going to bring me another human being.
No, I understand the girl. I understand. Unconventional, but I get it.
It's a blessing now.
It's a blessing to be
honest. For sure.
Because
for sure.
there's a lot of beings I believe would love to be us, to experience Earth in the way that we experience it. But then again, that is my philosophical thinking of because of my spiritual things. The Muslims don't believe that thought process, but it's okay. Does that. So when she said that, I realized how many Gambians will relate to that, because a lot of us here are useless every day.
Yeah.
And the culture that we are raised in has allowed our loved ones, and mostly our elderly loved ones, to feel entitled in disrespecting us in such a way because ñun ñoy xalé ñun ñoko wara jël ñoko wara enu.
Yeah.
Then you could like put disrespect yaay wala magi because right now we're seeing it and I could already see them flaring in the ears. I could already see the smoke coming out the ears. Ki kan la mo wal. I could already see it.
Yeah.
But like no diga bi. Because sa dom ya ko jur.
Yeah.
Every day lu ndaw mistake bu ndaw bu mu def ko yo nga useless torop. Di du mo ne ko luma la wax. Ko yu di ko wax yu ñaaw yu nga tiyene lu non xale bi daf ko jëlé ne Smile daf ko wax rek bu faté ko. No. Kids are little narcissists. They internalize everything.
Ma bëgg si kër bi lam di njëkki.
Si kër bi lam di njëkki. Yo do you remember the first person that called you useless?
No. I won't.
I do.
Sorry. Take heart. Take heart.
Exactly.
Please.
But I do.
I don't know how to translate that.
Is it equivalent or close to useless?
It's not close to useless.
It's above useless or below useless?
Above.
So it's worse than
useless.
Worse than
Yeah,
I bought man made ton.
Wow.
Mostly had a ton.
No,
but most of the time it's just something very like innocent. Like for example, if they made
Very
a genuine mistake, like if they broke like a glass cup or something like that, like just something genuinely like a mistake. It's like because the thing is that same energy that you use on the kid, you're not gonna do it to an adult. Like if an adult, if I drop something, it's like, oh my gosh, like sorry, but then the kid does the same thing. Oh my God, why?
I don't look hell. Look at def lolu.
Yeah.
Buy lo hell for on them.
Yeah. Yeah, and then that's
how we
all of
communicate
that,
with
they
actual
grow up
yelling.
with that. Yeah,
That's how we communicate, and we think it doesn't have a long-term effect on people, but it does.
Because there's a lot of adults like literally walking around with childhood trauma.
Yeah, because you never taught them how to regulate their emotions.
Regulate their emotions, exactly.
You literally came and yelled at them with full chest and vim every day of their lives, every time for little mistakes. When a glass breaks, my first concern is, did you hurt yourself?
Yeah.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
Hilat mo ko digo you. What's my saving take ko?
500, 600.
Be like la mo this salsa, be like this. Don't you say yep. Fake how this is the first one you have touched.
Yeah.
No amel latin lako.
Yeah.
You're creating anxiety in these kids. And then when they're older and they're anxious and they're jumpy, or they too start yelling and acting out, and you're like, man yareo mala ni, no tanga mel ni. What you mean?
Yeah.
What you mean?
Yeah.
You were there.
But you know how there was that meme I had seen where it was like, let's say like your mom said something so like something that really changed your brain chemistry, and it was a regular Tuesday to her. I was like, I feel that. Because that's why like when a lot of these kids grow up and confront their parents on certain things they said, they're like, I don't remember saying that.
Say that?
Like,
Man.
It's like me, that thing that you said, I have carried it for years.
Bro, I'll give you an example. My dad, when I told him I wanted to be an artist, he said, you're going to be a broke artist. Yeah, he didn't say, go back to school, redo your exams. I just said, and I went through it. So he said, do your exams. Instead of trying to be an artist, you're going to be a starving, broke artist. I said, what?
Artist branches in them body.
No, painting. Yeah.
Okay.
Like,
you're going to be rapping.
And you know what the funny part of that is? I carried that for like 3-4 years, and I did not pay not once. I went to school, I finished, I traveled, went to a new school, and I still didn't touch it. And I remember how much my depression took a hit.
I can see that.
Because I internalized that as I am not enough. I'm not good enough to succeed, and that's how you see me. And that means I am not good enough in your eyes. So what else do you believe I am not? I am to you. Like, what am I to you, really? And I remember just carrying that. And it really affected my mental health
Yeah.
because my last year of college, like, they had to really like corner me and be like, "You're failing your classes. What is going on
Like
with
what's
you?"
going on? Yeah.
You need to
Yeah.
schedule like a therapy session and talk about it and figure it out. And I did.
Mm-hmm.
The first day I did, the lady that was my therapist actually like got emotional with me.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I literally cried for like an entire hour while telling her everything that was going on. She said, "How do you function carrying all of this?"
Yeah.
And I remember just thinking, I have to. Nobody else cares enough to carry it for me, so I have to.
You have to, yeah.
You know, and I'm like, and I remember like the older we got, and it's like we try to process it because we're like, my game magligi, so small hey, come like say actually you right now, nga fog nene. But we don't do that. They're gonna yell at us and we still look at them like,
Used to it. You get used to it at the end of the day.
And that's a problem. Because if you're used to it with your mom, you are doing it to somebody else somewhere else.
Not everyone.
Not everyone. Why you can't reflect? So, everybody else is a reflection of us. Us as people, there's a reflection of us. You see, yo, right now, let's say your mama don't cuss you out, said everything under the sun to you. That anger that you haven't expressed to her because of the feelings that she has hurt and that sadness you haven't expressed, you're going to express it somewhere else. Towards other people. That's why you know, they may come saying, Papa, they lend their door, you them to the hair. Yeah, I understand how it can start to connect. Because I know the experience for the men or the boys and the girls is very different. And that's why I'm typing in on that. Because it comes off for men in a lot in the sense of anger, of rebellion. That's how yours normally show up as. Like that's when people will start to smoke more. Like what happened because legi hela bagay
About for a little more peace of mind.
Wow. Because lolu mo koy is a form of escapism. Because when you're high, you're not there. You don't care about what's happening around you. You're gone.
Cloud 9.
Exactly. Go into the wind. With the wind. You know? So like, it's a form of escapism. You don't want to be where you are. And that's why like when I hear like the complaints of like all the smoking issues we have within our community with this young man, I said, but the root problem is they're going through mental health issues. Because if you really talk to them and ask them what they're going through, they are suffering. They're literally seeing other people succeed more than them, and then thus you say I define you just anti mu no wax ne hay doomam bi dem na America mi am na moto fele definitely bu ñoo di la ko wax nak mi ne yow kañ ngay ma njëriñ ñëw it kañ ngay dem
dëgg la du la wax loolu de daf laa wax kii moom dem na
waaw kii dem na waaw mu ko defar lii yaa de ba def la ko yónnee container lekka bu peytu la walla
mostly tamit dan moo dee gën a cause loolu gi nga family members yi den dee mun a compare saraka ak nga saraka mu ngi def lii yow yaa ngi nii defuloo dara wala boo tamit it really affect people man capana kii mus naa nekk kër boo xamante ne ni ko kooku dafa stupid de maybe time am moo jot rek waaye mère bi always daf dee ñëw mu ne ajibe ñi ngi ni kii mu ngi ni yow nekkuloo di def lii te pako boobu dafa over la cool daf dee noppi de but deep down when you look at them danga xam ne he is hurt you understand loolu tamit soundul comme ngay compare sa doom bi ak sa beneen doom
man loolu man ko ma sama mère man ko ne bàyyi ma def loolu because I was like I am not that person te kooku noonu lu mu go through pour éega fu mu éega yow xamuloo ko man xawma ko ba pare nga bëgg a ma seedu nga si daala moo yow xamuloo kii nii fu mu jaar nga bëgg a ma jaar yoon boobu dama xam yoon boobu nu mel I don't want to God knew I couldn't handle that road that's why God didn't put me on that road because if that was my path God would have put me on that path but that is not my path and if they don't try to understand that that's the thing I'm like you're not even putting the effort to say you know what yeah you're right I could be wrong
Mary soon don't start alone no accepting their fault like they made a mistake and come to be like hey, I'm sorry like I don't mean to do this kama danga kontaan boo xamante ne ko gëm moo tax ñeneen xale dañ dee génn outside they do a lot of stuff they smoke
because they're looking for validation
waaw
outside
gars su ñëwee kër mère yi ne yow moom danga yaaxule fekk ñoom ñoo yaaxa seen doom yi at first like ñoom ñoo doon mess up seen brain bi to the extent like they have to go outside they look for validation
because it's like you don't want to go home because like the house is already toxic. Not a safe space for you so it's like prison. Of course it's a prison essentially so that's why when you go out you're having a lit time with your friends because that's where you feel
and
good.
You block her on that time. You're not even trying to let her
You're not
call
even
you.
trying, you know what I'm saying? You don't want her to come
home
and
at
spoil
6 in
your
the morning,
vibe.
be like, "Legi ngay duga kër."
It's like, what?
Okay, yeah. You don't know what I'm saying.
They could disrespect.
Yeah.
They're going through a lot.
And they just prefer just being outside than inside.
Inside, yeah.
The understanding is jamono buñ gaay yaro ak jamono same experience jamono bi ak fuñ nekk nii dafa over ute.
And I think they
they're not
can't
even in the
accept
same
that.
universe
Yeah,
as far as
it's
I'm
not.
concerned. I'm like, what you went through and had to go through to get to where you are, it's not the same life we're experiencing.
Like each generation, there's something new. Just like how our generation has a lot of technology, you know, things like
our
that.
generation, when I was born in 1996, I was here before the internet even came.
We saw the internet
You know what I'm
come
saying?
in,
I
like
saw
the
the
switches.
first phone.
Yeah. The desktop computers.
The first mobile.
Yeah. Remember the
was
floppy
this
disks?
big ass phone with this long ass antenna that
showing
Gamtel
our
was bringing.
age. We are
with the
showing
clip
our
open
age.
thing. And then you have the numbers and you clip it back. You see, when your parents have to go, they have to pull the antenna up and then open it and then you.
The
Senior tech,
landline,
you clip,
so-
watch it what antenna. Yeah, you see,
If you show somebody a floppy disk, are they
They
gonna
don't even know what
it
floppy disk is, bro.
Anyways, we're really showing our age.
Nah, they really don't even know what floppy disk is. You never done heard your computer reboot like a car about to start, got a whole engine that gotta get run up.
Yeah, we showing our age.
What's not freeze DVD? That's when
Okay,
you
I
should
ain't
know.
never gone there.
No, boy, you should. If the DVD is scratched, you just put it in the freezer and then wipe it down until it's clean, put it back, and then it ain't gonna scratch as much.
I ain't know that.
We digressed, but showing our age.
Yeah, showing our age for sure.
But that's the thing. They would never admit that.
So mental health, munga ko foguma dinga ko muna ame kirre.
No. Mental health.
Sometimes the reason why I say that because now everyone wanna be someone else. Yeah, I understand.
Social media definitely plays a
social
big
media
part
messed up a
in-
lot of people
Bro.
now.
Because what people didn't realize, as a lot of people who impressionable people right now, it's like you're seeing the highlight reels of like the person. So for example, I'll use myself as an example. Let's say I post like my graduation stuff, and you're like, dang, you see the blood, sweat, and tears I had before getting to this point.
The month before this video, you put yourself the way I was suffering for that submission.
Yeah.
That 20 page I need to write.
Yeah. So like that's an example. Like so on social media we're showing you the end results.
Behind the scenes.
You don't see the
whatever.
behind the scenes. It's the same thing with like relationships, or it's the same thing as when people Photoshop their face, their body. You're thinking, oh my God,
that's how I
it's
should
like
look.
when you see them in real life, they don't look like that.
At all.
So I think social media definitely played a big part in a lot of like teens.
Right now,
especially.
generation right now, especially
sure.
young ones right now.
Oh, for sure.
Hey.
And especially the ones that when the internet just started, like the Facebooks.
And the 2002
the 2000s, yeah.
The 2000 babies.
Yeah.
Jesus. I feel bad for
so
y'all.
not just the house, of course, but I feel
But the
then I feel like the
environment
house is like where everything kind of begins.
Because,
And then it translates.
there's studies that has been done that the first 7 years of a child is the most crucial years. Because if the way you raise a child, that first 7 years will tell you how he or she will be as an adult.
Exactly.
The first 7 years is that crucial, right? Helate kono, your first 7 years of life. Most of us don't remember, but some of us remember.
I remember.
You remember?
I think my earliest memories. I think I was 3 years old.
Nah,
I think I was 3 years old. That was my earliest.
My
memory.
earliest memory is 6 months. Yeah, my mom looked at me when I told her about it. She looked at me and said, "You couldn't possibly." I said, "I swear my life." I was describing the huts. I was passing at the trees while they held me. I'm like, "My whole roof motor binu mati ni maxi body parante window." It's like,
It was like,
I was like, look. After that, my memory just skips to like 3 and then goes to 5. Because 5, mom, I just remember because they put me to data that first year, so I was traumatized. Wow, that was subhanallah. But yeah.
So it's like a lot of people are working on mental health.
issues.
Yeah.
Yeah, mental health
It can be-
disorders. And I think
you
there's
know
a lot
what
of
this
people
is?
How
undiagnosed.
can you detect like
You can't. That's the thing. The thing with
Everybody
mental health
in
is
this
that
world, everyone
Yeah.
has one or the
Something.
other type of mental health
Something.
issues. Because mental health problems is not just for the nyamatos we see in the streets of Sarakuda. It is you, it is me, it is everybody in
and
the
then
streets.
a lot of us is like undiagnosed stuff.
Undiagnosed,
and then
unaware.
like
Some people
unaware.
are not even aware
They
that
think
they
it's
have a
just-
mental health
they just
issue.
think,
They
oh,
just think
something
it's
regular, and it's like,
non like a what a mel, non nga mel. Like I'm like no.
No, there might be something up.
No, dega domi Arab dafa sona. Domi Arab dafa sona. Domi Arab African dafa sona.
Yeah.
Domi Arab African dafa sona. Why domi African Gambia lam la wax because us we go through it
Yeah.
regularly.
Yeah.
Every day.
Yeah.
You know what he said about imagine if your parents took responsibility for the damage they've done into your life. how much joy that do you know how healing that would be for your kid?
Yeah.
What I say? If you don't even gotta apologize, I just need you to just pull your kid
Or just
aside and be
acknowledge
like,
it, I think, would also like.
what have I said to you that you have heard in your head repeatedly?
Yeah.
And find out where your kid is. That's literally a question that the parents can ask.
Yeah.
What have I said to you that has become your internal monologue about your self-worth?
Yeah.
What have I said to you that has brought on a lot of shame for you?
Yeah.
And you can use these questions to analyze yourself.
Yeah.
What has a parent, your mom, your aunt, your brother, your sister, has said that has impacted you enough that now in your big age, that is the same voice you hear, but it comes out as your voice, but those are not your words. It comes as your voice, but it's not your words. Because if somebody keeps telling you you're not taking, lol is a reflection of them, not you. Because you hamulo man yala fuma bindi lay suma teki.
Diga.
Yo hamulo ko yo dang ma jur rek, way hamulo lolu. Wala yo dañ bokka rek te hamulo lolu. Wala yo dang ma fekk man rek ci digi yoon ba. Gis ma numa mel, nga ne mané waaw ni ngeen def di ya sen di ak sen bayyi lo do teki. Yo hamoma. Hamulo ma dara ci lu arama awa. But because of that, you have feel it upon yourself that you have authority to speak to me in such a way that is unkind, unthoughtful, unintentional, and cruel.
Yeah.
And you say, I'm doing it because I want what's best for you. How?
It's like there's other approaches that you can take.
What would they?
Yeah.
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 Because like today, if something was to happen, let's say among us today, for us to deal with it, I could call Chaser on the side and talk to him and be like, look, I know I said this and this, but that's not how I meant it. And I'm sorry for the tone I used because I might have been heated in that moment and I said something in a disrespectful manner that is not my intention. And I can explain myself. Why? Because I don't want miscommunication. We're too comfortable with miscommunication and sing. Come, how they say, you see yourself and forget everything else the person is saying. Because you hear something that shows that you have internalized as that is who you are, and then you react. A lot of us respond from reaction.
Yeah.
And that in itself is a sign of mental health issues. Just say it.
And like, as you're saying that, I can just imagine like the comments that are like, oh my God, you just want to raise your kids to be soft. You don't have to be hard. They're children at the end of the day.
Bro.
I don't have to be insulting them all the time. They're kids. They're children.
And what if
And that's not even about being soft at the end of the day. I would want to raise kids who can regulate their emotions and they're not going to go out into the world angry at everybody else.
Thank
I beg.
Word.
and are kind and thoughtful,
Exactly.
considerate.
If they make mistakes, we're going to talk about it. If they do, and if they do something bad, there are other ways to dole out punishment that doesn't require like, you know what I'm saying?
Saga, do you?
Yeah, there's
Bro,
just as long as you show that there's
found out-
consequences.
Let's say hypothetically, I found out my kid was smoking pot or something. I'm gonna ask them why.
Yeah.
It could, and sometimes it's just as simple as, oh, my friends were doing it and I just figured, let me try it.
Exactly.
And you can be like, and then, the regular saying that we all use is, so how did this, don't jump to be 10, but I jump yo it. I'll think about it maybe, I don't know.
Like, them
I
my
said that to my mom, I
friends.
was like that.
Like, them my friends,
They're my
of course.
friends.
Like, I
said,
gotta
might, like, what might be at the bottom of the 10? They might
No,
know
they might be
something about
having
the
fun.
10.
I don't want to be left out.
But
It happens. It happens.
But when you say that to them, they're like, no, I will not jump in the 10. Mommy, that's stupid. Why would I jump in the 10? They look at because hamning, but nga ko ne bahut pour sa health nga tek ko nga janga ko because hamuñ.
Yeah. They're just doing
They
something
don't
that they're
know.
just
They just
copying,
doing
but they
what
don't
they
really.
see. They
Because at the end of the
don't
day,
know.
like, they're curious, like, beings.
Curious catties.
So as they're getting older and they're experiencing the world for the first time. So there's a lot of things that they're gonna do for the first
Just to
time.
do.
Yeah. So
And you're supposed to literally your job is to make sure you help and advise them.
Yeah.
In as well as raise them. Because like we said, the environment raises your kids 75% of the time. You can only do your best 25%.
you can do your best. That's literally it.
You can do your best. Because yo mun nga raise a dom, bu gina bah, gina content, like a happy baby.
Yeah.
But then the outside will destroy him.
Mess him up.
Yeah, and bring him back in shackles. And you're like, this is not the child I raised.
It's like, but they're only yours for so long until they go into the
Thank
outside
you.
world.
But it is your job to prepare them for when they go to the outside world, that there are people that are going to undermine them, that there are people that will want to make them be small, that there are people outside that will take advantage of them.
Exactly.
You prepare them for that.
Yeah.
Nga ko gis nga nit ki da nga wara am xel bu dëgër.
Yeah.
I feel like my Wolof is off, but you know what I'm trying to say. Xel bu dal. Thank you. Look at my Wolof teacher.
You got it.
I'm xel bu dal.
Yeah.
The help with that is not all the time, but it's most of the time you should have it.
And I feel like if you give them the tools on how to deal with certain things, I think they'll be
And that is why
fine.
part 2 is gonna do.
Yeah.
We can't just point out your problems and not give you a solution. That will be very inconsiderate of us, and I'm not that bad. Okay? We're gonna have mental health professionals for beautiful peace of mind coming through. Miss Sylvia and the social worker, Mr. Basiru Sani, pulling up on us for our next episode, inshallah. So that I hear what you started our clock in middle people got here, but it's okay. Because I just saw her on the side of my eye.
But also if I don't feel like clapping, this is how I be clapping.
And so like
Yeah.
you heard the baby in the background, forget that.
Hey baby.
So like, you know, we're gonna have that so that they can give you actual ways to help yourself.
Actual ways to help
And
yourself,
you know, some of us use these methods currently. Like I have certain things that I do or try to, but I have not done since I got pregnant. So I'm not gonna lie.
Gonna bounce back.
Personally speaking, my mental health is not sparkling. It's very much in I could have bloomed, but I'm thinking the blooming needs to wait. That's where it's feeling.
Ma de sango ma solo be nice ma uti halis ma dem Senegal be de chill be suba te mostly do ma de to de ma de ga what to as why gis ngi to ma podcast because me also I want to be
You want to be
part of you want to be part of
He said, I want to be in the gang.
Yeah.
I want to see what's good outside. Like,
Peer
I wanna be part of the
pressure.
party.
they so say they mostly kids at home they don't intentionally yaha or def lo hamantende they either gis ko si yow wala guy mistakenly yaha dara so
And that's another thing too with the whole like do as I say, but
not what I do.
It's like
Which is
that's another
mad.
thing too. You have to kind of, if you're showing your kids, for example, also in the mental health like aspect of things, if they see that they're gonna copy the way you do things. So for example, if you're feeling stressed, but you have healthy ways like to cope. They're gonna definitely copy that, like to self-soothe and all of that stuff. That's another thing. You have to embody the things that you don't
want to teach your kids.
So like all these mean words, all of that, I can't do
He
that.
ain't gonna do it. But I'm not like in there, saga say boba. God, that one pissed me off. Cause I really look. I'm not gonna lie. There's nothing like insulting yourself as a parent and why you think you're insulting the child.
When you're bullying day.
Wow.
Day.
I'm like you are the day that you are bullying. And my father, the day he's bullying is you. And you are sitting right there saying yes. She is insulting you with it. Internalize that. I want you to internalize that. Because it had nothing to do with me.
Like Domi Haram. Oh.
Wow. I am the dom in this segment. Not the haram.
gis ñaari brother ñu ngi buddi antende
And I'm like, that you are the same mother and father. What are you talking about, though? Like, people forget. I'm like, oh no, bro. Small such bang major headache. Why they getting a small helate yi and I'm good as a small boy of the meeting. Because man munuma understand the helate lulu. You know, I was talking about this with Mama Cham, and like I said, I'm gonna bring it to my therapist because I was like, the
Ana
thing,
den am fi ay therapist
yeah, but what? Ne part to be, na mala isil bena. Mako mo ne ko
what do therapists mostly do imagine okay majola dara you're secure you don't even have state of mind mental health how can you go to a therapist ko nakalam la johe
That's the point.
That's the point.
That's the point of a therapist. Like
The
you're messed up, they don't judge you. They're like a third party. They don't know what's going on in your life. So you're the one that comes, tells them everything, and then what they mainly do is to help you like cope.
Yeah,
Like
and
as
figure
things
out
are coming,
you
how
can
to
understand what is happening to you, why it's happening.
yeah, because they
to you.
studied basically the traumas, the psychological, all of that stuff.
and
So
how
they
to-
can connect things that happen in your life,
That
like
you
in the
did not
past,
see.
that you didn't even see. So they
Or
give you
like
a
let's say
fresh
for instance,
perspective.
if you're this example, this is triggering for some of you because this is some of you your lives. I apologize that you have to live through that, by the way. Some of you have witnessed your dad abusing your mom repeatedly, right? And when you are young and you've seen that for most of your life, you think that's how you're supposed to treat women. That's how you show them that you love them. Or even after Lulu, you also like your dad will abuse your mom and your mom will abuse you in return. Because she doesn't have an outlet for the anger that she feels towards your dad because society doesn't allow her to do anything to fix that situation. You understand? So she has her own mental health issues, and now because she doesn't know how to regulate her emotions or deal with the situation she's in or see a way out of the situation she's in, most of the time they reflect on you. Right? She will come and abuse you, which has happened. And then now you have like that child will come grow up and not like their mom and hate their mother. Because now their mom is that she's weak because she's the one that allowed my dad to do this to her. Like I'm the one that she beats. I'm so sorry. I know I need to stick to English because of
no yeah.
So like you're going through that, and then when their kids get older, if it's a girl, most of the time they assume that is how a man shows that they love you. They put hands on you.
But not a lot of them.
That's exactly. You know that's not love because that is not your experience, but that is not theirs.
Yeah.
For them, that is how a man shows love to them.
Yeah.
And vice versa, a man will think I should hit a woman if I want to show her that I love her. So like America, they have this thing where like if a boy like in kindergarten starts beating on a girl or like fights a girl, they're like, oh my God, he likes you. That's why he's doing that. I'm like, no, he doesn't. You better throw them hands back.
Yeah.
But like Hamalolo subconsciously is teaching your daughter that if a man abuses you, he loves you. And that is a problem. Even
So do you want to tell me that's the reason why a lot of jabari ñu ngi stay at home even though seen jëkkër dafa ñëw rek.
Yeah.
That and also the
society
shame.
vitamin merut la nga bay.
Yeah.
Because imagine yow tey sa jëkkër nekk di la ndulli suba ngoon guddi bëccëg yaa ngi fa am ñaari doom sa jëkkër moo nekk di in charge of yéen say finances yi mooy fayal xale yi school moo leen a lijjanti loolu leen def yow da ngaa dem liggéey ñëw sa liggéey loolu la fay mu tut enough pour yow nga mun a génn toppatoo sa doom yi defar leen li yëpp naka ngay génni. Because you know most of the time in Gambia, if a wife and a husband divorce, guess who has the kids? The wife.
The wife. Me man si lola ne kamana sumay. Sumay like xam nga ñaata góor ñoo ko taka 1 2 3 4.
Putting her business out there.
You know what I'm saying? But whoop his ass on her behalf.
I don't know, like bro, like this shit crazy. Boy,
Exactly,
man,
but like
the only thing I learned from that, I want to be better. You understand?
And that's it.
I
But
wanna
you see,
be-
that is our conscious mind. We want to be better. Because that's the thing too. You have to remember your parents also are human beings and they've went through, if not similar experiences than the one that they are showing you. And it's not to make it an excuse for what they've done because I believe, especially after having a child, what has changed for me is you had a choice this whole time and you still make the choice that you did.
Exactly.
You chose to treat me the way you treated me. Even though, yes, maybe somebody has done that to you in the past. You could have made a choice to say, that will not be how I raise my child. Just the same way we make choices, that's not how I'm going to raise my son. You understand? Choices will not like you buddy say family you can make or their loved ones or their friends don't want to make those choices. And that becomes the problem because if you're not trying to make the right choices and say, I want to be better, you're going to be the same people you hate. The lolo mo dal ñu bari.
Yeah.
And that's the sad part. That's why, like, legitimately, that was the reason why I couldn't be in a relationship with a lot of Gambian men here. Because y'all are so, oh my goodness. That's a topic for another day. But the trauma that Gambian men need to, like, deal with.
So first experience, how was it?
What, dating a Gambian man?
Yes.
It was very stupid. I was in high school, I think. Wait, 6th grade.
Let me see how it is.
I was in 6th grade. It was a grade 7 boy. Hey, someone was cute on there. I was a cutesy.
Mahanga ban iya last start date. Buma jehale school, grade 12.
Mashallah.
Yeah, I was scared of girls. I'm still.
Women are very dangerous people.
Yeah.
No offense.
You know, it's,
No, we are dangerous people.
Yeah.
Stay away from
No,
them.
they
Stay away from the
got
cooties.
But again, they taught me a lot, so
Yeah.
they should better watch out too.
Yeah.
I'm dangerous.
No. Man, I go to my yard. So I have I can't use this word apparently because they told me not to. I have men's/boys way of thinking when it comes to how I deal with men, even in women, because I was raised by just the dudes and all the. I'm gonna put your business out there. All my brothers is players. Well, they were players. They married now. Whatever.
Keneen ki defender lam day play wala midfield. Wala.
Keneen ki daal midfield la woon. Keneen ki defender. waaye defender ba dafa mujjee move post. nekk si yeneen. kii su flippé ba def la nii si suuf padre I will beat you from.
So you were talking about choices. Let's talk about now, currently.
Yeah, we got sidetracked because the baby is doing baby things. And then it is like, I don't know what to do.
What would I join episode?
No.
Please,
no.
we don't want
This
Mr.
baby is
Njai to go
banned.
and beat us here.
Yes. So we cannot do with it. So, but yes, the choices we make will determine what will happen to us, right? And I feel like parents' responsibility, that is your responsibility. You have to make better choices than those that have raised you. Because the life that they have lived is not the same experience you have. Yo war nga gëna mëna am yermande pour sa doom ci generation bu ñu nekk nii. That's my thing. Generation bu ñu nekk nii right now, we should have more yermande for our kids. Because And also like, this brings me back. I'm digressing a little bit, but this brings me back to that time when the results came out. IGC results and the grade 12 results came out. And everybody on Twitter was blaming these students, like, y'all just failed. Look at years grade. They were talking about how the point average dropped. And everybody was like, yeah, Nicolay di Jaga, yena nge di tohdi pati di def liag la, nge stun sibiti. I am looking at the comments, looking at grown people. I said, have you asked any of those kids how many of them, their parents actually know who their teacher for their English classes?
Ask again.
Who is their teacher for their math class? Who is their principal of their school?
Teacher or principal.
Yes,
they don't even care.
They don't.
So yeah, accept study. Just any class, it doesn't matter. Why, that's my thing. You also the same way you figured out how to use TikTok, you couldn't figure out a way to use YouTube and find lessons for teachers on classes how to help me.
Not everyone also can have access to YouTube.
Yes, not everybody can, but that's my point. There's ways to motivate your child even when you don't have resources.
Yeah.
Right?
Like the study teachers and stuff like that.
Thank you. Man suma dom bi tay su ñu ñëwé results am ñu ngi bon dama dem ci school bi next week bi ma laajte leen lan naka laa mën a dimbalee suma doom bi mu tekki. Nit ñi dañoo gis seen doom yi fail ñu koy dóor di ko yuuxu ñu ne ko da nga stupid amuloo xel lu tax doo dee study su ma la waxee wan nga ne déedéet nga ne di fayee dóor rek di fayee si biti fekk xale boobu noonu every day school ñu ngi ko dóor already in school.
Or
they
already have a disability.
You know what I'm saying? They have a disability with learning and you don't even notice that.
Yeah. Because the thing is, for a lot of these parents...
Thank God, man, sumay do they complain. Man, blame na school, we ma jehal, musuma pass exam. But again, tamit hanga look at tamit hale right now, they don't even care about. Yo, danga nyo boob class, be nga feel, flying colors. Grade 6, guide them like you will grade 8. Yeah, you continue. Teacher, you know what at the house, guide them what I'm system bo hamantene. If you don't pass, if you fail, you have to repeat. Muna la 2 times, 3 times. So I'm tell you guys, what do you want to do? Because I'm not you feel there. Man, huh?
Because not everybody is meant for school.
Some big grade 5. Mune suma hangalu suma. Mune masoma file school. Yang ya asa halis. Man bugma school. Ama buga def carpenter. And now he's working. Jangan lu langa nyata years. Like he's 22 now. And he's working on his own. Exactly.
So lu ken meche lu jara
jara. They're forcing them school like they because everyone is going to school. They think sa domi tami dapat wala in school.
Because they will it comes back to the comparison thing. Because if you go to school when they're done, be like, "Muro de gis nga kini mo jandem na mo jan am na master sami yang ini top defa ko dara." High school graduate rega. Kini dem na be university.
I feel like
and it's there like
it's like a checklist almost for like these parents.
Comprehension. Yeah. Comparison?
Wow, Lola, okay. Lola, a problem with you.
Yes, comparison. Go ahead.
I was gonna say like it feels like a lot of these parents is like a checklist almost. Like okay, they went to school, boom. What's the next thing for them? And they don't really. That's why they don't really like are not that attached to their kids. It's just like, well, I've done the marriage thing for some of us. Okay, I got the kid. Okay, now they're going to school. Okay, it's done.
Yeah,
nothing
that's
more,
why
nothing less.
So, comparison in Gambia is an actual situation that we need to look into. Like, respectfully, we need to. Because that's in every household. Mm-hmm. Like, I want a conversation. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. Like, if you're in a household where your parents ain't never compared you to your sibling, your cousin, your friend, you know that one friend that you bring home that everybody thinks is innocent and good and helpful? Wow. Wow. So I'm like, and then your parents like, Nia warona mel.
Like you ain't seeing what's going on behind the scenes, my guy.
Mama said that to me once. I looked at her and I said,
like
you would throw my ass
out. If only you knew.
You will throw my little light skin behind off the floor. You would have said, get out of my house. I don't know who you is. You're no longer my daughter.
Yeah.
And then my brain went, so why are you friends with such a person? I said, because they got spares and I like them. They're fine. Mama said, you are your own problem. You are your own problem. But you see, all these things can affect somebody's mental health, right? As well as, the economy, the government. There's like 1 trillion things that can make somebody...
For sure.
Sometimes you're even born that way because pH balances. But the pH, Jesus.
No, I ain't talking about that kind of...
How more no? There are chemical imbalances in the brain. Oh, God. No, I'm over fat right now. chemical imbalances in their brain.
Yeah.
You know, and it'd be like that.
Yeah. Some people,
It'd
it's
be
just
like-
genuinely, they're just born and it's just like, they just happen to have certain like disorders and it's just out of their control.
Bro, that's why there's a lot of autistic kids and it's on the
Yeah.
spectrum. Autism is a
spectrum, yeah.
spectrum,
It's a
people.
spectrum, yeah.
You need to understand that.
It's not one way. It's not like flip like this. It's
Same
like,
the other show that they did here, and they were talking about autism awareness. I realized a lot of y'all didn't understand that autism is a
it's like
spectrum.
a spectrum. Like it
It's
shows
a
up
spectrum,
differently
yeah.
in different
And there's a
people and
test. So
stuff.
if you want to know, just go check the test out.
Yeah.
There's a test. I want to do it myself because I feel like I might be on the spectrum a little bit. I know I have ADHD or ADD. I don't think I'm hyper, but my husband says differently. You know, I think I'm an ADD, but he
Yeah.
said, no, you are definitely ADHD.
Yeah.
I said,
Yeah.
you spend time with me, so I'm going to keep quiet. It's true. It might be true. It might be true.
Yeah.
So how,
But I'm actually
how,
diagnosed with high function depression. Yeah,
how
so
can someone fight mental health? How can you?
Mind you, the thing with mental health is you try to fight, it'll fight you back.
thank you. What she said. I was about to say I would not use
Because
the
the
word
thing- the thing
fight
about the
because that's a
brain-
defense mechanism.
Yeah, because the thing about the brain and something I've learned is that if there's one thing that's even slightly off in there, something that's not firing properly, you're done.
Done.
Not done. Not saying that okay, like you have to give
You
up
can
in life.
function
and
while
all
your
that.
brain is drowning.
Yeah,
you.
like if
That's
not
what-
everything
like,
is
okay.
all the way up there.
So high function depression is basically like I can come here, do my job, do everything,
Mm-hmm.
and still go home every day and cry myself to sleep. Like internally, I feel like
Or
I'm
just feeling
dying.
empty.
Or the feeling of emptiness and even a suicidal ideation or wanting to commit suicide. And I'm just sitting here right now, being on this, talking to y'all on this podcast every day.
That's why,
And you'd be like, "Hi," when I kill myself, be like, "Hi, what go on? Kilo ka jot?
Yeah.
Am na seytaane ko duga. Dafa amoon rab." Fekk woo rab pa daal sama xel bi rek la. Rab bi si biir xel bi la dëkkoon.
Yeah.
No,
Dafa
sa
amul
xel
rab
bi
sax,
moom
ma
su
maa ne
dalee
ko rab
moom
ba
ah,
sooy tuut.
da nga dee dal comme sa xel bi su dalee moom da nga dee dal.
Yeah, waaye sa xel bi su dalu tee doo dal di.
Yeah.
waaye man xam
That
nga
is not a reference to why I'm hyper. My hell is very dull. Thank you very much. I'm just hyper naturally. Thank you.
I think if anything is just finding ways to deal with it with stuff that that's in your control. Because obviously,
Yes.
like a lot of things,
Are not in your
it's not in your control.
and knowing that
It's-
they're
it's-
not in
it's
your
not,
control
yeah.
and leaving it there,
Yeah.
that's also a thing. A
but
skill
again
to learn.
that's why da nga war a jàng tamit.
Wow.
You just don't soo jàngutee doo xam loolu yëpp.
Yeah.
No.
I
Definitely.
understand.
Dana ko war a lijjanti.
Because man,
Yeah.
I used to go through a lot of shit. I still do.
Yeah.
But because jangana, suma janga ne ko jangana.
No,
Because I
janga
do.
fo de.
Yeah, I understand. But luma de save more ne kana ma de accept ne okay. This is what happening to me. Maybe buguma ko. Maybe yalla moma ko tek. But again, yalla muna dula tek lo xamantene
antal
antal lo ko. I understand. But also doesn't mean that you have to sit back and you ain't going to do nothing. I understand. So more time man, the only thing that helps me is praying.
Yeah.
Me when I started YouTube, actually when I started YouTube, it was actually for fun. Because man don't Doris my boy interview, I never knew that he's a YouTuber. And the moment I did it, camera be lalma, following David, my guest comment section, you tap. They were bullying me, but the fact that suma gene my cheese, I like it. But all lulu ma def for them 2019, my start 2018, 19, 20. Now it's like, okay, not everyone knows me, but at least my Guinea now I have the attention of she's a bad man, I like the shit you do. Now what thought I was the man, then I started doing dumb shit. And guess what? That shit can really come back to me.
Yes, it
you
does.
understand? And it come back to me, but when I go back home, I don't have someone to talk to. You understand? My mom will listen to, but what's some
There's no
palata
yeah. Barina.
barina. So I don't wanna
Yoka si asset.
yoka. So now man dam pode fight lul moma de come no way dama de muna gena ma def video like camera bi mo suma jaxale I'm a whole different
person, yeah.
But camera bi su offer rek
Delu nga waa sa bopp.
delu na so suma demé kër time bobu la daf ma de gana hit like
Yeah.
what I was doing ma ngi opal fale suma ñe kër I don't even find
they
peace.
say that, yeah.
I understand. So then ma xamne nekuma won di jang. When I say jang, I don't mean English or
Yeah, I
Quran,
know.
you understand? So I said, let me do my research because when I was younger, I forced my name janga, but I don't because back then I have to sell. I don't have time for that.
Yeah.
But now I do have time for that because I have magnet. So what I do is now because I have internet now. That's why I always tell young people now, doesn't mean that danga wara dem si kena mu jangala dan. Like YouTube is here. YouTube is the best teacher on earth right now. I tell them everything. I mean, when I started videos, I don't know how to do it. I started doing research on doing YouTube videos.
Yeah.
How to edit.
Yep.
You understand?
Oh, they're editing videos are
Yeah,
tiring.
you
Jesus.
understand. If you put your mind in it, you will do it. So
Yep.
man, luma japale mo neka when I must start to actually search. Hanga first till luma wa when I dang de compare sa bopa ak ñeneen ni. Dang de gis ki mu ngi chill ki mu ngi def li yow amuloo ko yow léegi you wish to be that person. Lool moma do mesto. Gi nga lool bu ñëwee it's like God was talking to me te lool moma dalon. I want to be this guy.
Yeah.
But I cannot be this guy. I try all means, my soluni, my halis buma ama. I go buy something, put my solo, but I'm still the same.
Yeah.
Lul mama don't disturb. Yeah, buma gisi buma saje guy one ma lul no. So my last guy, how do you get rid of it? The only way is to pray. I pray and accept yalla nila ma defare. And everyone have their different blessings.
Yeah.
Ki muna rich, yow do rich, maybe also rich. The fact that people that really man hangala mama ganona I started hating myself man okay man I have a roof under my head sumara kay ken mereo ma suma duma de saga you know my eleka my and why my compare suma bopa people out there the man stage buma neka ni right now I bet a lot of people out there they wish to be in my
state,
yeah I understand so when those thoughts keep on coming my janga my eli that's when I was like you know what yalla nila ma defare yalla lila mbuga am so I have to be accept myself who I am but people don't really come ki num ko wahe no you have to find peace within yourself. The only thing you can do to do that is to learn and accept like linga yalla lila na jo no matter how hard you try so try da nga def lu stupid like at the end of the day kala mo ñoo si yow ak sa family you understand madama suma demé outside I don't try to do dumb shit because at the end of the day, it's not just me. I have a whole gang behind my back. So, suma effect, effect, right?
Yeah.
And I see what my mom went through. So I don't want to be that burden to her anymore. You understand? And that's why I always tell youngins, don't compare yourself with others. You want to learn, go to YouTube and other stuff. Then they come, okay. Ginga man buane hanga yanda wa comparison na how much
Comparison.
Yes, so let's more hey linga wa word be there.
Okay, are we saying comparison?
Comparison.
Yeah.
Yes. Nga kër bu nekkoon force xale yëpp ñun doon janga ñun doon ñëw. Waaye man bu suma la bu ma musa nekk man lu ma bëggoon moo nekk jaay gerte. Waaye suma because xale yaa ngi ñëw mu force ma. Dem naa fa 4 years 5 years mënuma dara xam nga la laa de man fear rek la ma dee wax ma taal fear the only time I find joy loo xamante loolu laa de moo nekk when I started repairing computers because I was like yo this is technology I love this
You like it.
and 2 years I can open a PC I can do this I can make a little then man you fall in love with cameras I was like okay maybe it's, so you say yàlla mu woon ma bi because I was coming to
this, yeah.
but again you just don't stay back
And just wait,
you have to, man,
you
so
have to do something.
I have like I do research and I'm not scared also to I have stress now dama dem ma boy dika ma am stress sikir muna ñëw si yow ma ne la say ma am stress boy you might not financially help me but munga ma life
Muna la helal.
Wow helal yeah I understand some people low rek leen soxla bu sa ngali
You bari lool rek lañ soxla.
lool leen soxla
And that's what your therapist is. Your therapist is basically your halal kat. Because the fla deglu, her job is not to fix you. Her job is to create a safe space for you so that you don't feel like there's nothing wrong with you.
And you have healthy ways to cope.
And you have healthy ways to cope when those feelings of there's something wrong with me come back, right? Because, for instance, she will give you something like, she will recommend journaling so that you understand how your thought patterns are set up, right? There's this thing my husband calls it, he calls it the liar in your mind. That's the person that always comes with a negativity. They always watch it. So we call him the liar. So whenever I'm going through something, I say the liar is really loud in my head right now and it's making everything feel overwhelming. He will understand what I mean. Because okay, that is not actually who you are and that's not actually genuinely how you feel, when you're like, what your actual true state is, but it's what your current experience is. And that's just it. It's a current experience that like you can change how you look at the experience, right? Because and that's true. But tell me, the may chance, and you have a choice that he gave you that says, how do you handle what I'm giving you?
Exactly.
And I
Right?
think
How
That's
do
what a
you
lot of
handle
people don't.
that's what they don't, and that takes responsibility. Because if they get responsibility, I am not perfect. I am not okay. I need help, and we don't know how to ask for help. Because you need to put your ego to the side to say, I need help.
Yeneen seen ego yaa leen sonal.
Pride moo leen sonal. Te ñun Gambian suñ pride fi ñu ko teg. Loolu tax su waxee ñu ne la njaay ngay ne njaay. You know what I'm saying? Where we put our pride.
Man bu ma jëlee loolu teg ko aside, I was like, okay,
You're peaceful.
Hey, damaa dem rek ma ne la say, look man, I did this shit fucked up. I'm not gonna tell this to my mom, but
Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
Because they say how many ko si hawa ñaaka jom. Nag si many ko si hawa ñaaka
ma
jom.
dugga kër miir bi ca pa ma sumel fekk mama
Ay,
you know fekk am na
ay,
ko ma
boobu
wax
du bi ko
bëgguma
def
la
ten
sonna
minutes
rek
ago.
yeah
Yeah.
come
Very
I
cool.
understand.
Yeah.
I think when people learn that, they can actually improve on like
Yes. They could do a lot.
do a lot.
They could do a lot. Because if your ego is the liar in this case, if that did not click for some of y'all, the ego is the liar. Because the ego will come to you and tell you, yeah, you're not good enough over a little mishap. Like
Yeah.
you got an 80 over 100 on a test.
Yeah.
The ego will come to you and be like, wow, how about
And
you're a
it's- and it's-
failure.
and it's even-
You're
even down, like,
internalized lulu ne.
exactly.
You're danaka, you're lulu.
And it's even down to like the most mundane stuff, like something
mundane stuff.
as simple as you wrote a to-do list, for
Yeah.
example, and you didn't do all of it. Let's say you missed out on one or
One,
two.
two,
Already
three.
you're
Yeah,
bashing
your brain is
yourself.
like,
It's like, dang.
You couldn't do that. Damn,
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Yeah.
I would have done better. If this and this person would have done it,
Exactly,
they would have done
exactly,
better. Do you not see how they accomplished their
exactly.
to-do list? Wow,
Yeah.
that's why you're not going to be successful.
Exactly.
That person that's saying that inside your head, bad bati kenala,
Yeah.
for how many is in your life. They
Yeah.
used to tell you those exact
those
same
exact
words.
things,
And you have now
exactly.
internalized that as you're in a
Exactly.
monologue. That's what
Exactly.
creates your liar in your head. Because that liar it sounds like you, but it's never you.
Try to
Yeah.
fight it.
You have to fight it.
Yeah.
Gis nga man suma laaya bi foofu toor yi nii tay yi nii foofu lañ dee xulooyee because since being pregnant and going through you know the whole shebang, I've not had time to go back into therapy. Even though I know I'm going through postpartum and all the stresses that come with that, and I have moments where like I want to crash out, like I literally could jump off a bridge and it would not even bother me. I would be like, oh my god.
Yeah.
You know, that's the type of feeling in
postpartum
me.
is
right?
something crazy.
That's the topic. If I have to really get into postpartum, I need other women to be around me so that they
Yeah.
could talk about it. Because if not, I might cry.
Yeah.
But that's beside the point.
Yeah.
You know, and you go through that. But I also have to be the same person that says to my mind, I understand that you're feeling overwhelmed and everything is a lot right now. And it's okay to feel that way. But I also need you to take care of yourself, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Because I have to bring myself back. Because again, I'm responsible for a whole nother human being. I cannot just crash out like I used to. I used to crash out really bad. Like I've at least tried to kill myself at least 3 times. Yeah, at least 3 times. You know, I'm headed bu baax, it's important because one of my best friends was the reason why like my last attempt did not work. Because had I called her, I think at like 2:30, 3 in the morning. It was like 5 in the morning for her. She was in a whole different country. I was in America. She was in Cyprus. I called her in the middle of the night and no more uyo someone I wanted kini right now is panicked for your sake. Because I sent her my goodbye text and everything. Like, everything's going to be okay. I love you. Take care of yourself. Da, da, da. She called me spazzing. Like, what the hell are you about to do? I know you. What is going on? Talk to me. I couldn't say words. I just buy my joy. I cried for almost like an hour. She just let me have that space. And that, you know, like, that's what you're saying. Sometimes you need that space,
That safe space,
to come out and say what you've been going through. Because you
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're scared of people going to judge them.
and like, or even burden them.
Yeah.
Be like, buguma ko en man hamna kilo ne kasi asata buguma ko yokal kom nako he like yo sa mer man ko de hala smarity. I don't want to tell my friends some things because I'm like, I know my friends are going through it as well, you know?
Yeah.
But what I learned is it takes away from my friend.
Yeah. It doesn't give them the choice.
Yeah,
You
it
know what I'm
doesn't
saying?
give
You've
them
already
the
decided
choice
for
to
them.
be there for you. You've already decided my friend can't be there for me.
Yeah.
Why you hamulo diga?
Exactly.
Because yo, may you lost a harid chance me. Put bu one la name, man naman neka man sa harid la. Like I want to be there when you're going through. I want to hold your hand. I want to be that person that is supportive for you. And I realized in that moment, had I taken a chance on her, I wouldn't be here talking to y'all. I wouldn't have gotten married. I wouldn't have like had my kid. And that is crazy. And I call her sometimes, I'll be like, I'm so thankful that I have you in my life. Because without you, I wouldn't have a life.
Because that reminds me of that saying, like, not to make permanent decisions based on temporary
feelings.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh no, my feelings were not temporary.
Oh no,
Those ones
definitely
I know.
not.
No, those ones were brewing for about almost 5 years. They were brewing for time.
Yeah,
You know, and it also goes to you have responsibility for yourself and for your own mental health. And it's like and sometimes we hear the worst things, and that's currently something like somebody I'm really close to is dealing with. The worst things they're hearing is from their own mom, right? And te lolu bari na si ñun ne like comme su yaay dañ dee wax very recklessly. They talk very recklessly, and I know they don't say it from a place of bad intention. But the tone in which you said it and the words in which you use
and how you impact the person
and how you impacted me is very dangerous.
Something that just you carry that
for life.
Years.
I'm not getting they say I'm in small hamone ni nga mel ni kon dama la don rey duma la juk.
Shit, man.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Not for real.
To
and
say.
we know that's crazy to say to your child, but they're like, but
yeah,
that's how I feel.
That, yeah.
I'm
so
like,
that's a kid.
That's
your
not what
kid.
you say to your child.
Exactly.
That's not what you say. Like, you come and tell an African parent I was suicidal, they say, damn, why didn't you do it?
Exactly. Yeah.
Why didn't you do it? I looked her dead in the eyes. That was the first time I think in years my mom seen me cry, and I just walk out of her room. To this day, I don't bring that conversation back up. Because I'm like, you are not the reason I'm alive. And I left it at that.
Yeah.
So imagine going through that and then you don't have good friends. You have until you come back to them. That's why it's important to surround yourself with. You have to know the friends that you roll with.
You have it. Well, it's not group had it, I'm not going
always.
Oh, for sure.
There's one person. If there's a group of 10, there's one person that actually genuinely gives a fuck about
it. I'm passing bon on kala. Ko de fuck ne mo gana bon.
Bon, yeah.
Ko de fuck mo gana bon. Ko mo gana buga. Man, my gang, when I started YouTube, right? I have a whole lot of gang. Like, everybody be coming to my house. Smile they'll hit you so hard. Why can't I move for somebody to get say that? Muito siki that te ko kwa mo de nyona machisa. I know ya Insta YouTube nga nyo fi yep sa harit la why muito.
Yeah.
The why so ko gise si nek bi yep out of all of us. Mo nga suspend nga ki mo sa jak ki mo band. He was the coolest motherfucker. Stop. Coolest, you know what I'm saying? Like,
coolest person out there.
Person, yeah. All praise due to Allah.
You're serious, we're talking about real serious conversation.
This is how a lot of us cope, though.
This is how we cope.
Using humor. Some of the funniest people you know have been through some of the most traumatic.
What is that dude that jumped off the bridge in America but made the movie with Peter Pan?
Did he jump off the bridge?
He did. Robin something.
No, you're talking about Robin. I know who you're talking about. I thought he just committed suicide in his house. I didn't know he jumped.
I thought he jumped off a bridge.
I hear that.
I swear to God, it was off a bridge.
We gotta.
Robert something.
No, Robin Williams.
Thank you. Robin Williams was not OD. He did not overdose.
No, I just thought he
jumped off a bridge.
He
went off the bridge. Okay. If memory serves me right, I could be wrong though, but I remember it was a bridge.
But yeah, essentially, some of the funniest people. Check in on your friends for real.
You need to be checking in on your friends.
Yeah, checking on that strong friend.
Okay, yeah, that one strong.
The one that seems like they're carrying it well. I beg.
They're not carrying it well.
And you don't have to necessarily have a whole deep conversation with them. Just like, hey, what's up? How you doing?
You are Lulurek.
What's up? You good?
No, my Ben had it right now. Mind you, I dated him when I was in high school. He's not even my friend. He's my brother.
Mm-hmm. You what?
I dated him in high school. This was decades ago.
You what?
I dated him in high school.
Okay.
But now he's literally my bestie. He's my brother actually.
Yeah.
Then dembe family bi ñepp ñu mean. Mind you, they knew me after we started dating. So they were like, y'all are siblings because of how we interact.
Right.
Since I got pregnant, he would text me every day to say how I'm doing. Because he was like, and the other day I was going through a lot, like just a couple of days ago. This was like maybe 2 or 3 days ago. I was going through it and I had this heavy feeling and I couldn't express what I was going through with my partner or like even call the girls and talk to them about it because I told Mojan some of it, but I couldn't process it. Because you get used to how some people say certain things to you to a point like it numbs you out, right? Like I couldn't cry, but that heavy feeling was still there.
Yeah.
And I couldn't express it. And he was like, you've been off all weekend. Because every time I've asked you, are you okay? It's like, I'm surviving. I'm managing. I'm cool. So something's up and I need you to talk to me. Talk to me.
Right.
When I explained what was going on, I was like, I can't say nothing. Leg boop, what money? You have a problem with Key. Damn, how you know? Because I've known you for over a decade. Mom, I'm the sister again. So he's like, I've seen my sister go through similar things you're going through. Te you're 4 naked right now. I see 4 tall. It's such a dangerous spot for certain things there. That's why I check up on you all the time. It's because I know where you are is not the most safest place for you. Because I know your relationship with the people you're around. And thus, I want to make sure that you're okay because you're also raising a child and your mental health matters. And people care for you.
Yeah.
So I want to make sure that you're okay because just now you're going through it. And that is why they end up like hating the kids or not even able to even be present as parents. And I don't want that for you. And that's why I'm checking in on you. And I remember just sitting there and I just started crying. Because I was like, damn. Like, what did I do to deserve a good friend? That said, I will check in on you every day if I have to because I need to make sure that you are good. Not I want to check in on your baby because he will check in on the kid every day too. But it's like, you are the priority still. Because if you're not good, your son will never be good.
Never.
That's true.
See would be like
because if you're not, you are the tree that hold, you're the roots that hold the tree.
Yeah.
If the roots are spoiled, the tree is going to go down.
Yeah.
And that's the family. You are the root of the family. So I want to make sure that you're okay. And I remember just crying my ass out. And I remember just spazzing. And I was just like, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm tired. I'm exhausted emotionally. I'm drained. This and that and the third. He was like, it's okay.
Exactly. You're not a robot.
You're not a robot.
You're not a robot.
And nobody deserves to be talked to like that.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, people are like, oh, I don't give a fuck about nothing people say about me, da 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 third.
Hey.
You do.
I'm like,
to some extent,
I'm a human being.
Yes, everyone does.
There's certain things I will internalize because my brain will tell me, because it clicks with something in my trauma and my trauma will bring it up again and tell me, I told you this was about you.
Exactly.
And I'm like, and I have to, this is the phrase that I repeat to my brain every time. What somebody says about you is not a reflection of you.
That's something I've had to work through with, you already know. But I'll just say thank God for the community I have. You're talking about like friends and stuff like that with like the past couple of months and how tough it has been for me on my mental health.
Yeah.
So like, honestly, you guys, I honestly don't know what I would have done. I don't know where I would be if it had not been for like my community. And it's not even just people here in Gambia. It's like my friends abroad. Like they don't care about the distance. They don't care about the time. If I call them, if I text them, like they're there.
They're gonna be there.
Or even if they can't like get to me at that moment, they still are able to be present.
The moment they come in, they're checking
on you and stuff like that. So I would say like honestly, they've been like y'all. No, I'm just kidding. No, but like shout out to y'all. Like it's real gang up in this. Let me not cuss. People are watching.
And he like, y'all better break it down.
Sorry, my volume be going out. But yeah, like honestly, y'all like friends.
No, having good community is good for your mental health.
And it doesn't have to necessarily just be friends. Also, I have to say like, alhamdulillah, always like the family like I grew up with because granted, like my childhood was not. I had certain things I went through. You know what I'm saying? We don't want to talk about that here, but
That's your mama.
But like growing up and stuff like that, I think being more and more aware about like mental health and stuff like that. You're also talking about like functioning depression, and I feel like I got it because honestly, I've been going through the emotions and stuff like that. Being on autopilot.
What you gotta do.
Yeah, you still gotta do what I gotta do.
Honestly, it should be considered the older daughter, like
the eldest daughter's
syndrome, like that one.
What's that?
Because they said that
autopilot.
Autopilot meaning like you're not even aware of what you're doing. You're just doing but you're not. Your mind is not there. If that makes sense, like your body physically.
Understand again? The eldest daughter, because the eldest daughter is the one that takes care of the house. The eldest daughter is the one that takes care of everybody in the family, but nobody asks her questions. It's funny. I had to teach my little brother that the other day because he was saying some things I did not agree with, and I had to check him, and I said, at least they care, because I have learned how to function within my own family, and I have learned that yes, I am the one everybody offloads to. I'm the one everybody talks to. I'm the one everybody that checks in on everybody. But what I've noticed over the past years is nobody ever checks in on me. Nobody asks me, how are you mentally? How are you feeling emotionally? You just went through this and this experience. How is that dealing with you? Nobody checks in on me. Nobody gives a fuck. But at least somebody gives a fuck about you. So why are you complaining? Literally, I was like, you have such a privilege that you don't know that you have because you're so, and that's the thing, that's what a liar does. It makes you a narcissist about the situation because you're like,
it's like, but what about me? Exactly.
Fatene, sa me affect ñep ci biti. Yow sa choice bo def tay ñep la mo affect ëlëk. Why you amullo awareness and that's the thing. I keep having to emphasize this, especially for the younger generation that are coming up. Self-awareness is a gift to yourself, not for other people.
Exactly.
It's for you.
Exactly.
It's not for other people. Because gis nga nit ki doomi aadama tey dafa dunda dee ëllëg. Waaye lu mu fi bàyyi loolu la ñëpp di fàttaliku. Lu mu fi def loolu la ñëpp di fàttaliku. Nekk na baax na wala bon na yëpp loolu la nit ñi di fàttaliku. And that doesn't even matter. But how you feel in your deathbed is what's going to matter.
Yeah,
that's the thing that should be really concern you. What regrets do I carry? Because let me tell you something. When death is close, you're going to remember every single choice you've ever made.
That's why a lot of people be doing those confessions in their deathbeds and stuff like that.
That's crazy.
They'll be like, back in 1978, I done killed him. You said what?
You
keep
did
that
what?
to yourself, sir.
You don't want to hear that.
You know what I'm saying? Regret, I bet, keep that regret and take that up with God.
I have another family on this side of town, and that is your brother, your stepbrother, your half brother. That's how we found out all the secrets, bro.
You know?
It's because people had to die and see him.
Yeah.
But like, that's the thing. Yeah. You need to find self-awareness is for you. It's a gift for yourself.
Yeah.
Right? It's a gift for yourself because I don't know dina la nekk dina def lu muntu mëna def pour wàcce la ci suuf.
Facts.
The world is built to drag you down. It's going to drag you down to the best of its absolute ability. And it will use every resource on this planet to do it.
Sai, Mawa.
Go ahead.
I'll say this, what do I call it? A lot of people are going through a lot, including myself.
Including everybody, yeah.
Yeah, including everyone. Because everyone is going through a lot, but no one has ever gone through come Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam don't go through. You understand?
So in what context?
Okay, that's I'm coming.
Yeah, come in. Okay.
I'm coming.
Because the way my brain just went, huh?
I'm coming.
Yeah, let him land.
So,
no, so petty, bro.
Those people are funny. Everybody is a comedian up in here.
Yeah.
Small government be. You know what I said last week?
I was saying, like, the reason why now I accept myself for who I am, because I remember being best one. I would still come to what I said. My gym. The reason why I was going to the gym because kuma gis muna chesa danga overlap. Imagine now I started going to the gym. Hanga man mom fuma gis my simi ko out. Suma deme si gym bina suma gain I had the confidence is there. So bena bes my my close friend Ibrahim on ngedo. Bena jaha gisma. Obviously ham nama. Dam de anga dama de chahan man okay. Muna ma yo. Imagine all them my cool my friend. Muna ma yo ha. Yo so here so ton ken do la dong hold. Na over now. Lulu, huh?
I'm sorry, we're not supposed to.
No, it's okay. It's fine. Don't worry.
Actually, let me just put this down because...
Imagine now I pretend, I don't give a fuck. After come suma movie, the fact change. Best my close friend, manema. Leho, maneko dara. Leho. Manana kilum lawa mola duka. Mane no dara. Lord of my sonal to the extent. So, me fati lono. Lutama wa.
Landal si bobo nono. So that triggered something in my brain. So.
Yeah, I understand. Buma wa hello nona. Imagine and at that night, the maron again. I'm suma bopa nice fun. But mujo madam because now I get back home. I'm in the mirror. I'm like shit. Let me turn the light off.
Like, am I ugly?
Yeah,
if it's black, how would I look?
Something like that. You
because,
understand?
like I can imagine that right now. Like you in front of me, like dang, like why shorty how do me like that?
Exactly.
I ain't gonna lie. See that same comment. I received something like that years ago, and I remember how do bude? Do you must bude? Do we must sin bude?
Wow, yeah.
Yeah, I put that on my face just to see how I'm gonna look if I was black. I was a young kid. Okay, I was. I'm so
what
embarrassed.
is happening over
but,
here?
It's a little embarrassing, but
it's okay. The things we do for
and
you
I
know
was
what
like,
I'm saying.
How would I look, mind you, at the same time, I'm on ham. So I was trying to cure my ham. But then, like, you know, they said that to me around that same time because my ham was leaving these patches. So I had dark spots here and lights. Oh, my days.
Yeah.
So, you know, it did though in 3 days. So thank God for that. But I
guy
remember,
started to use that.
no, the Robert said to me, my whole small and I'm like, why would you say it? Like my brain just went, why would you say that?
Boy.
But because you're pretty, God made you pretty. Do you not know that they say like the face you have nice is like the face you have now is the face you thought of, like you saw like in another life and were like, this is the prettiest face I've ever seen. And I was like, and that changed my perspective. That's why when people talk about my face, I be like, I'm sorry. Cute girl, no pimples. What you talking about? Skin glowing.
The mostly new la de what dara.
That's how they feel about that.
Feel about themselves. So let me go back to what I was saying because now
the prophet thing, because I forget
the
that.
prophet thing.
Yeah. In what context?
Okay. Right now, what's the word of
Comparison?
Yes. Generation bu nekk nii nekkul just home mental health more. Now it's
No. You know when mental health is everything societal.
Yeah. So man luta my usually right now.
Yeah.
Cause my use my moromi right now. I go outside. I don't even stay at home.
Yeah.
Me, I've seen a lot. So buma deme ma start talk legi, I have to accept myself for no. I started doing research, I started praying, then I say, let me go back to my religion. You understand? Then I read about the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I read about days Duma was story, but let me just conclude what I was saying. So imagine me now starting going through the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, I learn. Through that, I find peace. You understand? Now I don't try to compare myself with others. I don't try to, because nobody dem made was lu bari. Dem made over man fuma nekon ak fuma ñew fuma nekana. I'm not where I want to be, but also I'm not where I used to be. Alhamdulillah. You understand?
Period.
You understand? Fuma nekon tambo guy dem made wax lu nekat mana sumay dama de gis gaay ñu ngi over sona sumay and other stuff. But buma started di jang religion mi ma xamne Rasulullah dem na si li yep, but he is still content and from le tontu he pray like mu julli si yalla. So I'm talking to my younger generation right now. Man luma len advice mo neka. No matter what you go through, let's say it's a family you go outside, you try to fit in, you do stuff, you at the end of the day so the reason why we are going that way is because we are not praying. We're not
connecting with God.
We are not connecting with God. Wow. There was a part when you have a man for
you have to walk with God.
I accept.
To be the man.
Yeah.
You have to be,
ñun dundee buga janga legi dundee over buga janga gi nga so delu si religion me nga janga def la wonal the way of life te so defé lo nona you will actually find peace.
What was his name? Jordan his name is Jordan. He's a scholar type teacher thing, but he said
Muslim or Christian.
Actually, that's why he studies religion.
Religion, but he doesn't have a religion.
I don't know what religion he said. I don't care for it personally. Okay. It was the information he was giving. He said if you go to the Quran is 65% how to be a good person, and it's maybe 5% just rules. He said when people act like the Quran is 65% rules and 5% how to be a good human being, but realistically 65% how to be a decent human being, how to be a good person, right? And everybody, like, we act like we're such this religious type of nation that like ñu dañoo julli waaye suñ julli mutut because suñu xol bi fu mu neexa àndut ak fa la julli bi war a yéega. You understand? So like for somebody you have to reach a breaking point to pray to that part, to learn that part. I understand because that was my experience in 2016 when things were bad, and I mean dirt wrong. Like my mom was gonna come open the bathroom door, her daughter would be dead. Haju gudi laa daan jóg 2 o'clock di julli. I didn't do the research. I didn't do anything. I don't know how to explain it. There was a person in my life that I felt was making me miserable. The energy of the weight of what our relationship was too much for me. And I wanted God to remove them out of my life. Dama daan julli every day with two suba. So pare julli fajar ma dora nelaw. Be fajar julli dora nelaw. Dama daan julli be joy be suma muba bi fii dafa tooy xep. Loolu tamit léegi tey I don't even see that person. I cannot see that person. God to this day will not bring that person back in my peripheral. Kii maa ko block gis nga fu ma ko block sax turam nekkatu fa. Li serious laa lay wax ni kii maa dugal turam on social media, every social media I have, I still cannot find this person. Ma xam ne dëgg ñaan nañ ko dee nangu. But also where it put me mentally was so beautiful. My education came in after that. That's when I found Mufti Mink. Fekk Mufti Mink time we were correct. Mufti Mink ngeen duga see the prophet stories.
Yeah.
He got me. Mind you, me and religion were there fighting it because I was like, my ustaz is a horrible human being. He's an abuser. You can't be teaching religion and be like that. So I didn't think the religion was being portrayed the way that it should have been portrayed. So I had issues already with the religion and the way it was given to me.
Yeah.
So what I do? You know? And then I met Mufti. Mufti started talking about the prophets. And I realized these were just human beings that God said, I want to give you more responsibility. And I said, God, thank you for not giving me their responsibility. Because the way
There was some tough stuff they went
if
through.
my sibling threw me in a well and I get out,
For real.
him and his whole family going in that well and I'm sealing that hole. Everybody catching that.
Yeah.
Everybody is catching the rocks back. And I was like, oh, I see the empathy God wants us to have for other people and the understanding He wants us to have and the love to give them even when they don't give us love. And I was like, oh, God, you're asking me to be forgiveful? I don't know about the forgiveness. And then it was like, I swear to God, it was like the thinnest voice in my head that went, forgiveness is never about the other person, it's about you.
Yeah.
Because yo te yo ya mer yo munu do leka munu la naare yak si mer bi yaa ngi dëkka si mer bi sa yaram yi bañ ko go gi naan ju sam di leka lupi
Oh,
ganaara
not me. I can stop. I'm just kidding.
nekka lupi ganaara mu ngi si yeneen yo yaa ngi fi di vex munu loo leka munu loo dal yaa ngi tëju sa néeg kooku ngi dunda life am
kooku daf laa wax loolu mu live life am faate na wax na la loolu yow lee nga téye ko nag eating you up, man.
That right now is a situation that I have with people. And I tell them, I said, you don't know where my mental health state is for you to say certain things to me so absent-mindedly.
Yeah, that's
Like,
yeah.
for instance, my weight has always been something I've always gone to. Mind you, I've never actually been fat. I'm just a thick girl. I've never been fat.
Facts.
And it's mad because the person that tells me I'm fat the most is my mother. And I look at her like, you're not slim though. You know? And she looking at me like I'm disrespectful, but I'm like,
I beg now, look out.
you know what I'm saying? But she likes to remind me. Just a couple of days ago, Moja came to the house, Moja was talking about the gym. She said, wow, you get slim. She didn't even acknowledge that, right? But me, I internalized it again. Because the romba, mangi just sangu, mangi romba said to me, mohalas,
I was just like,
I'm
oh my
overchubby,
God,
man,
this is
you
not the
overdue.
conversation I am trying to be part of. Oh my God. Like, why would she say that?
And I'm like,
Yeah.
but I'm not. I literally just had a baby.
Yeah, you literally just had a baby.
I
for
literally
real.
just had a baby.
Yeah.
My body is changing in a way that I've never seen it.
Exactly.
And the empathy that I need from my mom is not to remind me that I'm currently too big or I'm like, Nama buy small bopa. I'm sorry, I'm raising my child by myself.
That's why you think
My
that you
husband
can't even
is
fit through the
literally
door or
not
something.
here to help me do it.
Yeah.
Before you have time to go and be at the gym, feka am nga joti nekas bala nga muna sangu sangu. Nga sada yala ne sangu nga sa tay. Man ma tok ma futog man helat ne man tay na sangu nasa. Madam man, you know what? Did I shower today? I'll ask the house. You know, every time I have to go shower,
Like
I leave the kid with
got-
somebody.
yeah,
I'm like, did
you
I
got
shower
a lot
today?
of
They're like, you didn't leave the kid with nobody. I said, damn, I didn't shower. I gotta go shower. Because like I don't have the time, mind you, right? And she's saying it very casually because I know in her mind she's like, I want you to look good. I don't want you to let yourself go.
But it's like there's other ways to do it.
Yeah. So by esa bopa sa jike dula de buga da because buga luma lala just nyenen go through.
Yeah.
To understand na ne fufula mo wahe.
But dang.
But I've internalized it as God, I'm not pretty enough. I'm not good enough. And that's what you're saying to me, that I'm just fat and I'm disgusting and I'm not pretty. And mind you, my liar is going into me. What go dig nak every minute. Mga gina yoka di wahanak di wah di gina tek nak. Mga gina mer, mga gina sad, mga gina hurt. How could my mom say that to me? You understand? And like people say like, that's why when people be like, oh, like when, because I got some aunts that come complain to my mom like their daughter or their son's not talking to them, but I know why their daughters and their sons are not talking to them, and I'm like, Why do you think they don't call you enough? Fada nga loko daan wax fii nii. Loko daan
that's
has.
funny that you
Loko
say
daan
that,
saaga.
sir.
Te léegi loolu tam du la dee call. You know ay weer duñ dégg seen doom yi. And I'm like, why are you not hearing from your kid? Did you ask yourself? Man lan laa ko def bala maa mel ne ñu tegal la ne. Waaw man sollu ma ko. Ba ki dundalu ma. Waaye bi léegi lu tax mënut a waxate yow. Lijantil sa boppa. Why your kids are not talking to you?
That's funny that you say that is because like the stuff about kids is that when the whole topic about kids comes up and it's like, oh, you need to have kids so they can take care of you. What guarantees that once you give birth to however many kids you have, that they're going to take care of you? How many people are in nursing homes, for example, because they've messed up their kids to the point that nobody's going to take care of them. They don't want to even be. So that's why I'm just like, on the topic of kids, it's like, have kids because you want to have kids.
Yeah. Not because they got to take care of you.
Not because of what they can do for you.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
That's all I'm
gonna say about the kids.
No, but that's the thing.
The kids,
no, but that's the truth.
Some of y'all get a little tizzy when it comes to these kids.
But no, they can get tizzy. Me, I don't mind tizzy because tizzy means there's acknowledgement. Yeah. That's how I see tizzy. That's why when people sometimes come in our comment section all angry, I'm like, you saw yourself in what we said. And that means that now there's an awareness of that behavior. So there's likeliness you may not repeat it again. And for that, you are welcome.
The word.
You are very much welcome. On behalf of all of us, you are welcome. We are glad to have that service provided. But it's stuff like that. And I'm telling you, my mama didn't care about that conversation after she walked out the house and went about her day.
It's a regular Tuesday. It's a regular Tuesday.
She couldn't
to some
care
people.
less.
Yeah.
But like this have been going on my entire life. So I've internalized when people talk about my weight. It went to a point like my friends, I had to tell them, I said, do not ever discuss my weight with me. Because my cousin did that to me. He was like, you're getting fat, da da da. Hanga come boy la ni, nangen de mina te sa mina la. Sorry, I ain't gonna put a leg, I ain't gonna do for that. Lolo japula. Ma to liko hall, ma no kane. Like I got emotional. I was like, don't say that to me again. Leg would change instantly. Yarama would change. Like, what's happening? I was just joking. I'm like, but it's not a joke.
Jokes, come on now. I feel like the joking stuff, and then you try to dismiss the other person because they took your joke as like something
serious?
deep.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, it's not that deep. It's not
It's
up to you to
deep.
decide.
You can't experience.
You're not in their head as you're saying the joke. That's why whenever I go out, for example, I make sure like when I run into strangers, I help them. Or if I'm seeing, like, I compliment them and stuff like that. Because at the end of the day, you don't know what they're going through.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Because you never know. Like me, for example, whenever I'd go out, sometimes when my locks were much shorter and somebody ran up like, hey, baby, Rasta. I'm like,
no, baby Rasta.
I'm like, oh my
and
gosh.
I'm feeling myself when they say that to me. Because I'm like,
you
yes,
know, like, baby Rasta. Or they'll see
girl.
something and they just make a cute little comment like, oh my gosh, yeah, your dress is real nice. Da, da, da. It makes my day. And I make sure that I have that same energy to somebody else. It's like, let me be that 5-minute shot of help. Like, oh my gosh, like they drop something, I help them.
There's nothing I used to love other than getting in the taxi and I see a fine man or a fine woman pass me by and I'll take my head out of the taxi. Jana was nice.
I look good. You look nice.
Don't be like, good man. We don't go wow, yo. Driver budget them. We don't go wow, yo. You know my Jeff. We're in the middle of the road looking like crazy people. Yeah. But let me tell you something. That girl will never forget me.
Yeah,
never.
It makes
never
a difference.
forget me.
It makes a big difference.
You know,
like just being a kind person to a stranger
will go a long way.
It goes a long way.
That's why when people ask me, they're like, you're genuinely like this. Even when we see you outside, I'm like, yeah, because the thing is, I am not what I'm going through.
We make whatever we're going through, we wear it well.
Well, you know,
you can't look at us right now and be like, oh, they're going through. Trust me, we're going through some things.
I've been in the trenches with
My
no guardian.
God. That's the thing with mental health. Like you can look at somebody and you won't really realize like what's going on. Like the only time you realize is like if it's something physical.
Yes.
But the mental.
Or when they go off and then they like, kidding go you want tanka.
Because there's certain mental health like disorders, for example, like you can't really tell because the person is just going about their daily life. And they're masking it well. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, no, they're masking. Oh, Jesus. I want to save masking for another day. Because masking in itself is exhausting. Oh, Jesus.
It's exhausting. You're putting on a face for other people. Then when you go home, it's like, dang, I used up all this energy to like
keep
pretend.
on this facade.
Exactly.
That this is who I am.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm like, my problem is not who I am. And I keep having to remind myself this.
That's
even
important.
though, like, you know, even when she said our like comment, I looked at myself and I said, I just had a baby. My gut is gonna hang. My titties are hanging because why? They're carrying milk of life.
Period.
That's why this baby is put up.
You carried a whole human being.
You
That's
know,
what I
I'm
always
saying
say.
I made some organs just a couple of months ago. Okay, and a heart. And I brought, like Mr. Yada said, I brought a soul into this earth. Okay? I brought a soul
Yeah.
into this earth.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is,
Yeah.
I'm allowed to be a little chunky for a little bit of time. Thank you, and God bless you. I am not rushing to clap back on that. Because I just looked at her and I
Because
said,
I feel like at the end of the day, like what you're for me,
how you feel about yourself?
like is
Yeah.
and that's what I've been working on, like internally how I feel about myself.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, a little bit of splash
Splash,
external, you know what I'm saying? Compliments,
It's
I don't
gonna
mind.
have- yeah.
But I think that's what's helped me as I've gotten older is like that voice, that small negative voice is like I've been trying
it down.
actively trying to reframe my thoughts. Like if someone says something negative
you know
toward
they
me,
say the closer you are to 30, the less shits you give.
you know, so like I think that's what's been helping, like that internal monologue, like shifting your frame of thinking. Trust me, it helps a lot because then the words that they come and tell you, it's gonna
like,
bounce back off.
You say, they say your frontal lobe doesn't develop until you're 25. So if you're watching this and you're not 25 yet, it's okay. Life will still whoop your ass a little bit. It's like,
Well, I've got some hands.
and life got some hands.
Yeah.
Life is like that ghetto girl with the hoop earrings, but her fist heavy as hell.
That's why you can't
and
be
she
out here
gonna
making
sit
other
in you
people's
and
lives
punch your
more-
throat all
much
at
more
once.
difficult.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
But if you're not 25 and you're watching this, it's okay. But if you're 25 and getting deeper into age, you are either into the I don't care what anybody gotta say to me space, or you're in the I'm almost don't care what everybody says to me.
You're gonna get to that
Don't
point.
care.
You're gonna
I
get
have
to that
about
point,
this
for sure.
span of a couple of months left of 29.
Yeah.
When that is done,
Yeah.
please, I'll look at you like, hey, it's about you. I am not your problem.
If you don't have
Me, I'm
nothing to
healthy.
say, just shut up.
That's my point.
If you ain't
God
got
said,
nothing-
if you ain't got
nothing
nothing nice to say, don't say
Shut up.
nothing.
Yeah.
Ke Islam selalu lah. Muna so amu tell lubah. Nothing.
It's funny enough. That's one of the first things I learned in Daranak. And that was the one thing I kept for real. Because I was like, if I ain't got nothing nice to say, I don't say it. And that's why I feel like I've actively worked on trying not to judge people.
Yes, because you don't know what they're going through.
Because I don't know what they're going through. Because
Exactly.
I've witnessed people judge me and don't know what I'm going through.
Yeah.
And and I'm just like, okay. And I left it at that.
Exactly.
That's why I use a lot of discernment. I use a lot of discernment when I'm dealing with human beings. A lot of discernment. Right? So this is just the first half of this to kind of give you a little intro. And don't come for me for my definition of mental health thing. I'm going to actually come back to my next episode with a clear definition. Please and thank you. And don't come for me. Right now, I'm stuffy and I'm going through it.
Yeah,
okay?
she kind of sick.
All cold.
You know what I'm saying, man? This flu is fluing me. And right now, I ain't gonna lie, you're shorty tired.
She is. She's just a
tired.
girl.
Just a girl out here, And God is giving me grown woman responsibilities. I have just a
Unfortunately, like every time our age is like a shock to us. Like, dang, we're really going through it,
bro.
And I'm like, dang, I am old enough to be going through this thing.
But oh my goodness.
It's like this is the stage in life.
When
I'm
I
at.
just found out I was pregnant, I texted all my friends, oh my God, I'm having a teen pregnancy. My mom looked me dead in the eyes and said, you're 28. I said, it's a teen.
I still feel like a teenager. Oh my God.
I'm like 18 and they're giving me responsibilities. I looked at God, I will never forget this. I sat down through most of my pregnancy and just doing like this.
It's like, wow.
I'm like, God, you really looked
I
at
remember-
me.
I
Like
remember
me down
that
here
call.
on this planet.
I
And you
remember
really
that call
said,
you made. That was so
you're
funny.
going to make a child.
You literally were there like, nah, I don't believe it.
Mama.
No, I asked my friends. I was delusional.
When you called us and told us, that was the funniest thing ever. Because I'm looking at you like, girl. You're like, no way, this is not happening.
It's not happening. And now it's not happening is right there. Like
Yeah.
it's being my bundle of joy.
You're Russian
And that's
roulette,
crazy.
baby.
Because my best friend, I called her before I called my husband, I think. And I was just like, the smell of the coffee in my job don't make
like that.
sense.
Yeah.
And
I
I'm
don't
in
like
the
that.
bathroom and I threw up too much for me. It's suspicious.
That
She
was
said, oh my
funny.
God, could you be... I said, don't finish that sentence. I am not. My birthday is in a couple of days. I have activities planned. I am going to my party. I am going to the club. What are you talking about? I don't know what you mean. Mind you, my plans but they plan with neighbor hamne jealous my cake sound boy hamne. I got see my check my outfit is ready. I'm like, I don't care what you're saying to me.
Damn.
I don't care. I did not even think of a test or nothing until after my birthday. I said, God, it's your fault. You should have let me find out after my birthday. I still went out. I had a good time, and I came home like,
you did.
I could be pregnant. That's crazy.
That was funny.
I can't wait to be a dad.
That's like, God, you're going to figure that out. And he did. God figured it out.
Yeah.
You're
a good mama.
Nah, for real. I left
so
all the
lucky to have
responsibilities
you
to the
for-
Lord's
for sure.
hands. Praise be the Lord. I said, you go handle it. You know how you said when some things aren't in your control? I pass it to God.
For real.
Because God said, if you can't handle it, pass it on to me. I'll handle it for you.
Call
and
on
you know
to
what
him
I've
and
been
he'll
good
come to
at?
you.
Handing over. That's why manager rek la muna neka. I'm like, I know how to delegate. Please delegate the responsibilities. God, you take this, I'll take this one.
I can
Thank
handle
you.
this. The rest of it, I'm leaving it up
You
to
can
you.
do this. You got this, Lord. And I go by my day. That's why my mom sometimes says to me, it's like, the way I hear you talk about God or talk to God, it's like you're talking to your friend, your mate. I say, that is my mate, that is my friend. Because who am I going to talk to if I don't talk to him?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Comme ko waxee rek mu ne ma ne da nga war a njëkk a waxtaan ak yàlla bala ngaa dee waxtaan ak keneen.
Exactly.
So for that, we're going to wrap it up here for today and call it a chill day.
Call
We'll
it
get
a
back.
hot of the
Gando just
shit.
gave me like a.
What is
I'm not gonna
going
lie. I almost screamed because the way I just turned and I saw Gando's shadow, and my brain went, "Oh my god, we're getting robbed." No, you know what? We're wrapping. We're good. We're done. We'll see y'all when we see y'all for part 2.
Jarama.
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 Period. Goodbye.